Hello everyone, happy 2024. This is my first video of the new year and I thought I would do a flip through of my reading journal 2024 and sort of talk you through all the spreads, which is going to talk through my reading goals and all that stuff. So this is my reading journal for 2024. My 2023 one was just a sketchbook, but this time I actually went and bought a proper journal, and I decorate all my journals with stickers that I just add to through the year. So this will look, well, it'll have more stickers on by the end of the year. So I've just got a read more book sticker, a couple of dogs, and then on the back I've got some couple of more sort of travel stickers, a book nerd sticker and a cat. And this book is from Stationery Island. I just found it on Amazon and I'm really pleased with this journal. I definitely recommend this company. The pages are super thick and as you can see there's multiple ribbons. So yeah, let's just get into it. So this is my 2024 title page. I bought some bookish stickers from Amazon as well, and one of them had this cute little book dragon, so I stuck it here. So 2024 I'm kind of excited for. 2023 I started out not feeling as optimistic about reading as I had been the previous year, 2022, and one of my goals for 2023 was to fall back in love with reading, and I feel like I really did that. I ended up reading 84 books, and I'm going to have a video coming up soon of my top 10 books of 2023, so I'm really optimistic for 2024 and I think that really shows in my reading journal. So on the first page I have this bookish map. I saw this sort of going around on TikTok, and I did the Land of Cubes, which is books backwards, or book backwards with an S on the end, and I just sort of made this as like a bit of a cover page, a little bit of fun really. It's not spectacular, the one I saw was way better than this, but I'm kind of happy with it. Yeah, it's just something fun. So then we go on to my first page, and here we have my reading goals. So this is my reading goals for 2024. I'll also just say quickly as well, I have printed out all of my titles. I just found a font on Canva that I really liked, and I just did this because it just simplifies it but also makes it look really cohesive, and it's something I did last year and really liked it. So just a side note there. So my reading goals. So my first reading goal is to read every day, even if it's just like a page. This is something that I had in 2023 as well, and I think just making time for reading has been such a change in me. It's definitely helped my mental health as well. My second reading goal is to buy only 5 books a month maximum, just to try and get down on those books, because I sort of rediscovered my love of reading in the second half, particularly of 2023. I bought a lot of books which I don't have the space for, so yeah, that's a big goal. Read mostly my physical TBR, so I do have a page in here for library books, but I actually want to cut back on the library and read more of what I've got already. Listen to 1 audiobook a month. I started listening to audio more. I pay for Spotify, and I've also got a lot of backlog on Audible, even though I don't get Audible anymore. I also have Kindle Unlimited and you can get audiobooks on there, so I want to listen to more audiobooks. I listen to a lot in the car at like 2 times speed, so that should be a doable one. My next goal is to read 10 classics. I've been reading a lot more contemporary, particularly fantasy lately, and whilst I absolutely love it, I've also got a lot of classics on my shelf that I want to read. And then finally I want to finish 7 series. I am so bad at reading the last book in a series because I don't want the series to end. So that's one of my goals, is to actually finish some books in the series, and I've just realised this is poking out at the bottom, so I'm just going to cut this off. Now over here I have my rating system. I've never done this before, and it was kind of interesting for me to have a look at how I rate things. I'll just move it a little bit closer. So I've done 1 star down to 5 stars, and then I also do half stars as well. So yeah, it's just something a little bit different that I've included. 1 star is awful, I wish I hadn't read it. 1.5 is pretty dire, maybe 1 or 2 redeemable things. 2 stars, wish I hadn't wasted my time, but you know, rather than wish I hadn't read it, it was more of a waste of time. 2.5 is some people may like it, but not for me. 3 stars is it was okay. That is when I start to tip over into like you know, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it or keep it on my shelf, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. 3.5 stars is slightly more okay, verging on good. 4 star for me is enjoyed it a lot, but a couple of quibbles. So 3.5 and 4 are probably my sort of switchy ratings. 4.5 stars is really enjoyed it, only minor quibbles, and then 5 stars is absolutely loved it. I'm trying to be more selective with my 5-star ratings because I've read a lot that are 5-star and then sort of I look back on it and I think, oh, I can't even remember reading that book. So a lot of books I've read this year, like on my top 10 list, which is the video going to come out next week hopefully, a couple of those weren't actually 5-star books, but they've stayed with me and were a favourite, so I should probably move them up to 5-star. My rating system is pretty changeable. I don't always, like, sometimes I go back and change my ratings, not always on Goodreads or Storygraph, but often like for myself. And then I've got Core Pile down here. Now this is something introduced by Book Roast. I'll link her video below, and essentially this is like a 7-point rating system where you rate each one of these out of 10 and then divide it by 7, and then this gives you a rating down here. So this is just something where if I was struggling to think of a rating, then I would use this to help me. I actually put in some of the books that I'd already rated into Core Pile and it came out with the exact same rating, so I seem to have a pretty accurate rating. But I've also got the fiction and the non-fiction, so that's where the slash is, that's for the non-fiction category. But if I was struggling to rating, then I would use Core Pile. So that's my first 2 proper pages in my reading journal. Then we have 2 big charts. So this is something that I used last year and I'll actually show you. So this is actually easier to see in my, like, a completed one. So this is last year, so I just literally tick when I've read every day, and then for my books finished I have a different colour every month just to sort of differentiate it, and then I use that colour to highlight the titles as I was sort of going through, and I'm trying to find some now. So when I was going through, I'd like go highlight the title of the colour that I coloured in the box, if that makes sense, for that month. So that's sort of what this is for, but I really liked this last year, so that's why I've done it again. Sometimes I fill this in retrospectively, but I really like this book's finished thing, and it's just interesting to see sort of when I have finished a book. I can generally see like holidays and weekends in pixel form. Then we've got my anticipated releases. So you're going to see this spread a little bit throughout, but essentially I've just done 1 box per month of the year, and I've tried to make this smaller because I didn't actually use it that much last year. I've got a few books in already, so I essentially in like January, for example, I just put the date of that month that that book is coming out and then write the title. So I've actually pre-ordered a few of these, so I should probably like highlight which ones I've pre-ordered. And then over here is my library reads spread. So I've got the book, where it was from, because I've got a couple of libraries that I can borrow from, the date it's due, if I've read it, if I've renewed it, and if I've returned it. So that's a really simple spread. Again, I'm trying not to, although I 100% support libraries, I'd rather take a book that I own and go sit in the coffee shop at the library, because my local, well, not my local library, the library that I go to has a coffee shop in it. So that's probably how I'll like support my library this year, rather than taking out library books, just because I'm trying to read more of my physical TBR. But I do have that there in case I do get any books out. Then I've got just put a bit of washi tape down here, just to sort of make it look pretty. But then I've got my fantasy book club and my books that I buddy read every month with my best friends. So my fantasy book club, I've just joined. It's part of Waterstones. In January we're reading Legends and Latte, so I've already filled it in, and I'm just going to tick in the corner when I've read that book. And then same with the books that I read with Natalie. We haven't chosen our January book yet. I should probably message her and get that sorted, but I just put in the book that we read every month. So it's a really simple spread, but I do like tracking this. Then we have my series tracker. Now this is probably the most simple spread in my planner. So essentially for the series tracker, I've just got this little design at the top, and then I'll zoom and show it over here. So here I've got the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, and I've just put a little tick box for every book in the series. Here is the Kingdom of the Wicked. So I'm just going to tick through when I've read them. So Stalking Jack the Ripper, I've actually read all 3 apart from the last one, but I'd quite like to reread them, so I might leave them blank and see if I decide to reread them. Kingdom of the Wicked, I've read the first one, and then I need to read the next 2, and I'm just going to fill this in because one of my goals is to finish 7 series. I'm going to have a look through my bookshelves and see which series I want to try and finish this year. I might end up picking up more series, in which case I can add them in, but I've got lots of space in here. Then we get on to my bought books. Now I put hauled books rather than bought books because obviously sometimes I might get gifts for like my birthday or whatever. or you know, it might be something like I'm borrowing it on Kindle Unlimited. So I've done a Dutch door, and I haven't filled in this page. My hope is that I won't need it because I'll be really good and not buy any, but if I do need the space, it's there. So essentially I've put the month that I acquired the book, what the book is, how I acquired it, if it was a gift, if I bought it through Waterstones, if I bought it through Amazon, and then a tick box for when I've read it. And I really want to try and keep my hauled books down, but if I do buy them, then I want to read them this year. We go on to the next one, which is my books read. Now I've got space, I think, for 96 books. So in 2023 I read 84 books, so I'm hoping I might read a little bit more. My Goodreads goal is 52, but to be honest I don't really use like book read goals. I don't like them, they stress me out, and I don't feel like I need them to get a lot of reading done. So this has got 2 Dutch doors, and I have filled all of these in hope. So this is sort of my books read. I'll talk through how it's done. I've not read any yet this year, so I can't fill it in, but I put the number, so that's a little hash. It's got the number of the book that I've read, so it's just really easy. I don't have to count them. The month that I read it in. F means format, so I haven't put a key because it's just for me and I know what it is. So F is format, so I put a P if it's paperback, H if it's hardback, A if it's audio, and then E if it's an ebook. Where it was from, so if it's, because one of my goals is to read books from my own shelf, I'm going to put own shelf, or KU if it's Kindle Unlimited, library, or lib if it's from the library, borrowed, whatever. What the book was, and then what my rating is. So that is just how it's going to be. I've never done something like this in a reading journal. I've had reading journals. This is my 4th or 5th year having a reading journal. I've never done like a list at the start of the journal, so it's something a little bit new, but I'm kind of excited just to have it, because I'll show you last year's journal. Essentially I just put the month and then I put what I read, and I'm still going to do this what I read bit in every month, but it just means that if I want to just look at what I've read through the whole year, or find quickly when I've read a certain book, then I've just got one central list. So that's the plan with this one, and I've got a double spare page here just in case I happen to go on to the next page. I don't think I will, it's very optimistic, but I like having this as a buffer, and if not I'll just decorate it in stickers or something at the end of the year. And then I've got my monthly stats. I've really enjoyed having that this year, and then at the bottom I might put like a how many books I read overall. Maybe I do a first half and a second half overall. So yeah, it's pretty simple. I'll just show you quickly. So I've got the physical books, so I just put in the number of physical books, number of audiobooks, number of ebooks, and then the total amount of books. It's a really simple stats. I do like stats, but I'm not like, it's not my biggest like thing in the world. But yeah, I think I might do a total one in the space at the bottom. Then I've got monthly faves. Again, you're not going to be able to like tell what this looks like, so I'll show you this year's. So this is 2023 monthly fave. So I just print out a little book cover. I've got what's called a Kodak Smile. It's actually not the best printer in the world. You can see that some of the colours are a little bit saturated in weird ways, but this is essentially what it will hopefully look like, and I've just sort of penciled out the size of each book cover. I've put the month in already, and I'll just fill that out as the year goes on. And then this is the last spread, and then I've got one more spare page. This is the classics in 2024. I was going to do 10, but then I printed them and only 8 fit, and I should have really measured it out, but anyway, these are 8 classics I would like to read this year. They've been on my shelves for quite a while, so I really want to get to them. So I've got Cider with Rosie, Lady Audley's Secret, I Captured the Castle, Frankenstein, Dracula, Wuthering Heights, To the Lighthouse, and Rebecca. So some of them I have started and I'm not finished, but those are the 8 that I would really like to get to. And I don't know what I'm going to do on this page. I think I might do like a yearly bingo, because I really enjoyed doing that this summer. So I might do like a bingo board on there. I will see. But on here is my January page. I like to keep things really simple because I'm pretty lazy, but then if I want to make it more pretty, I can. So I've just got this like book, what's it called, like a library stamp thing, and I've printed out each of these for each month of the year and then 12 Watto Reds, and I'm essentially just going to put the number, so like number 1 of the year, number 2 of the year, the book, the author, the rating, and that's pretty simple. And then on the next page, I don't do this formally, I just sort of do it as I go along. I put the book title, the author, the format, the rating, and then I just write down some thoughts. So it's a really simple journal. Obviously filling out this, setting it all up, these pages has taken a few hours, I would say, but it's actually not like massively difficult to fill it all out. It just takes quite a while with doing all of the lines. Like this one took ages doing. Where is it? This one was brain numbing, but I'm going to use it and I really like it. So that is my 2024 journal, my 2024 reading goals, my 2024 setup, if you like. I'm very excited to see what this year brings in terms of reading, in terms of writing. I'm hoping to post more on this YouTube channel, so if you have enjoyed this video, please do subscribe to my channel. Like I said, next week I'm hoping to do my top 10 reads. This is my, So next week I'm hoping to do my top 10 reads. This is my little January YouTube planner. So we will see where the year takes us. But Happy New Year 2024. I hope this year brings you lots of books, particularly favourites. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Like I said, turn on the little bell notification so you don't miss a video. And I will see you soon for a new one. Happy New Year.